So the journey of this clock began in the workshop of Neville Pugh, one of our residents, and we thought it would be a good idea to have a clock that we could present to the Methodist Church to show that the Society is part of the ongoing story of Methodism in the UK. And so we were able to get the clock transported from Neville's house, which is one of the Society's properties, to here at Wesley's Chapel. And so it's a great thrill and honour for us to have this clock here in the heart of Methodism in central London, where the actual movement is celebrated and its achievements are honoured and remembered. And we're now part of this ongoing story of Methodism in the UK. And now you can follow the rest of the story of this clock as it starts its new journey itself.
Here, Society resident Neville Pugh is in his home in Wales, getting ready for a very special journey for the first ever clock he made. He explains how his clockmaking started when he was a minister in Yorkshire during a visit with a church member whose husband was a carpenter and an undertaker.
There was a selection of oak clocks in different stages of development, making. And the gentleman was the local undertaker and carpenter. And I thought to myself, I'd like to make one of those.
So how did he go about making his first clock?
We were visiting members of our church, and my wife happened to mention that Neville would like to make an oak clock. But it's getting the oak. And he said there's a dismantled wardrobe in the garage, up in the rafters. It's been there for 25 years. Said, you can have it. I'm not going to use it. So I took this old wardrobe home, and the result is this clock.
Neville says he's getting ready to send the clock on behalf of the Society as a timely way to mark more than 70 years since the beginning of MMHS.
It's been displayed there, and I'm in one of the houses of the Methodist Ministers' Housing Society. I mean, this is one of their houses, and I appreciate. I mean, we couldn't have afforded, no way could I have afforded to purchase a house when I retired.
The next day, Neville is there at the Wesley Museum just in time to help deliver his special clock at this historic place. After Neville makes final adjustments, there's already a crowd anticipating the arrival of the clock to its new home, which will act as a way for people to take time out to reflect on the impact of the past 7 decades that MMHS has helped house retired ministers. Now the clock is safely in its new home, MMHS have had an information panel and commemorative plaque made up and installed. Visitors to Wesley's Chapel and Museum can read the story of the clock and reflect on the Society's work. Here, MMHS Chief Executive Mairi Johnstone officially hands over the clock to the Wesley Museum and Chapel's Curator, Christian Dettlaff, who is delighted with the MMHS display as a place of reflection at the entrance to the museum, where it will be seen and appreciated by thousands of visitors throughout the year. This exciting moment also attracts many visitors. Neville concludes by sharing his own personal reflections on this special moment.
Well, I think it's good for people to have a visual aid, and a clock is a beautiful thing to have. It helps you to relax and celebrate 70 years of ministry, of help assisting people like me. I burnt the bridges and I wanted to concentrate on what God had called me to, the Methodist ministry. So I wasn't concerned about where I was going to live or what was going to happen when I was retired. I knew that there would be somewhere for me to live.